Ben Nevis, the precarious rooftop of the United Kingdom. It offers unmatched views of its surroundings when it decides to, and nothing when it's not in the mood. The punishing and yet beautiful trail that many embrace, a playing field to the daring. Yet its hazards should not be forgotten. Numerous hours of a brutal hike. This is the Grand Ben Nevis trek.
Yeah, you're being recorded.
The story behind the hike. On arrival at Fort William, Nevis Range Base Camp Hotel was going to be our base. We were sadly informed that predicted winds at Ben Nevis summit were 40 to 50 mph on the morning of our hike. We had been keeping an eye on the weather. However, the weather in this part of the world has a mind of its own. It just kept changing and we thought we should give it a go. For certain the climb was cancelled on the scheduled morning. We decided to explore the woods as we contemplated on our next move. Judging the mood, spirits were slightly low as we pondered on what to do next. We had checked out of our accommodation. We had to make our minds up within a few hours whether to book a room for another night or head back home. After procrastinating, we finally decided to stay as we had more to gain. We were also reassured by the weather forecast at Fort William as it wasn't going to rain in the morning, though we were not sure of the wind speeds at the summit. Feeding our eyes with the lush green in the woods, we enjoyed what they had to offer. The moss formed an aesthetically pleasing landscape over the tree trunks and the forest floor. The wet conditions were ideal for moss to thrive, which provides a habitat for small creatures. These in turn attract birds and other wildlife. Gondola lifts were ferrying cyclists to the top of the mountains and anyone who was craving for the views, though I must say this was the wrong day for sightseeing as the clouds were in large numbers. Despite having lost the warmth from the few days of summer in Fort William, the scenery fortunately maintained its charm. We wrapped up warm and embraced the day. Wildflowers were also plentiful, which brightened up our day. Having made up our minds, we made our way to the hotel and booked our room. There are a range of activities at the Base Camp Hotel. The most popular one was bike riding. Sightseeing with the gondola lifts, hiking, and a few eateries were also available. We decided to pause and watch the world go by. Nevis Range Base Camp Hotel, this was our mountain-facing room. It was fit for purpose. We decided to rest for the night. On waking up at 2:30 a.m. in the morning, it was a different story. We decided to check out at 5 a.m. in the morning and head off to the base of Ben Nevis. Early rising backfired on us on this occasion. As the plan was to avoid the crowds, we decided to make the most of it though. We hoped that the weather did not set a similar tone for the rest of the hike. With our layers on, we began our ascent. Energetic and enthusiastic, we got on with it. Admittedly, part of me anticipated that the rain could make its presence felt, and we were all prepared with our waterproofs in our rucksacks. The greenery in Scotland to our right gave it a tropical feel, and sometimes it felt like being in a tropical forest. The start was not a bother at all, as we are all full of smiles, well hydrated, pain-free, and we knew we had this. We had a chance to carb load for the trek the previous day, and energy was not in short supply. Probably pizza, fish and chips would not have been the ideal choice. To our surprise, we are not the only one. We saw a couple of young ladies power on past us, which gave us the impression that these were more than novice hikers. The path was slippery, however this was the least of our worry. We were more than glad to be here. On the other hand, we were ready to turn back if the weather got bad, as this mountain needs to be respected. One of the elements we are looking out for are the heavy winds. We marched forward expecting a busy day ahead, but at the same time excited with a grin on our faces as we were climbing the bend. Using the mountain path was challenging and not easy in any sense, as it was steep and rugged. My understanding is there is another path, but this is the most common one, with 3/4 of visitors using it. Along the way, we came across litter on the trail, which was disturbing to say the least, a constant reminder of the need to keep these places clean. The greenery in this place is abundant. The reason why Scotland is wet and cold is its topography and the strong westerly winds, which blow over the Atlantic, bringing cold, wet air which rises over the mountains and dumps the rain in Scotland. We peeled off our layers as we got warm and sweaty. Surprisingly, it was not cold. Stealing a glance at the distance covered gave me a boost to push ahead. There was plenty of water from the ranges. Multiple streams to our right were racing to the bottom. One could hear and feel the sheer power and force of the water before you could see it. The best time to hike Ben Nevis is from June to August, which are summer months. The weather is much milder and the days are longer. However, even during the above months, the weather is changeable, and please carry appropriate gear. Stopping to appreciate some of the residents of the mountains. One wonders how some of these creatures survive. After 4.8 kilometers of hiking, the trail decided to become gentle on our feet as it gave way to some gravel. Off the trail, the area was thriving with lush green grass thanks to the abundant rains. The path climbs steeply to the halfway log at 570 meters, then ascends the remaining 700 meters up the stony west flank of the bend in a series of zigzags. the lake at the halfway lock. I realized that my body was getting better at hiking as I was more comfortable this time round. There was some camaraderie among the hikers as most folks were friendly and we cheered each other on. This gave me a sense of reassurance that if in danger, people would be more likely to help out. I concentrated on the path, careful on where to place my foot, at times missing part of the scenery. Our track was submerged by a rambling and vibrant stream that was flowing from the ranges of Ben Nevis. It was full of energy and it made its presence felt. Water was weaving through the rocks. Treading carefully not to get my boots wet, I stepped on the emerging rocks to get across. Ben Nevis has an elevation of 1,345 meters and a round trip of 17 kilometers, which is not a walk in the park for less experienced hikers. It also necessitates some level of fitness. I bumped into a group of young lads on their descent and they wanted to become famous. They asked for their signature pose to be captured on camera and I obliged. I hope their wishes come true.
Guys, mouth's open.
That's alright.
I know.
Okay.
Oh, we're recording, are we?
Yeah, you're
I'm
being
going to see this on
recorded,
an
yeah.
NSFW website.
That's alright.
Okay, thank you.
The low-hanging cloud created a moody atmosphere, but this did not deter our aspiration to summit. Having driven nearly 700 kilometers, it would have been a shame not to summit. Thankfully, altitude sickness is not harder for altitudes less than 2,500 meters. While symptoms can occur at lower altitudes, the risk increases exponentially above the threshold, especially if one is ascending too quickly. We just had to stop for a second and take in note these landscape views. On this occasion, the sun denied us a few moments of our time. Our imagination was left to run wild on what the scenery would be on a gorgeous sunny morning. My Jonesy powered on, leaving me behind as he has a short torso and long legs. With my shorter legs, I was no match for him. I agreed that he goes ahead so we could meet at the summit. As I approached the top, the landscape took on a different character. The dominant complexion on this mountain top was that of huge boulders of rock with hardly any sign of life. I summoned the last drop of strength in me to make it over the finishing line. As climbing Ben Nevis was not straightforward enough, the weather decided to spice it up with a serving of fog. The cairns along the path guided me to the summit, or else I would have lost my way.
Hiya, congratulations. You made it. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you.
During my last push to the summit, I was engulfed by the fog which needed me to be extra careful, especially with unforeseen landscapes like this drop to the left. The fog and clouds had tightened their grip on our views. Ben Nevis is known for its turbulent weather swings. Rain and fog are part of what to expect. Looking at the bright side, winds were up to 4 mph. The summit has ruins of an observatory to my right, which was continuously staffed between 1883 and 1904. It is a large stony plateau of about 100 acres. The summit is the highest ground in any direction for 739 kilometers before the Scandinavian mountains in western Norway are reached. Ben Nevis is 1,345 meters above sea level.
I
Hi again.
made it.
I did it.
Yeah,
Well done.
going to slow down too.
With perseverance and grit, we managed to tame the fierce spirit of Ben Nevis. Ben Nevis attracts 150,000 visitors a year, and I was privileged to be among the few that will be counted this year. This is the emergency shelter for use if one is caught out by bad weather. I was marinated in my own exhaustion, weather-beaten, craving for a warm cup of tea and ready to be reunited with my car. The descent was intense, bustling with foot traffic. For once I was glad I wasn't in their shoes. Many thanks for watching. It's been a pleasure chasing this highlight. If you have enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Till next time.